Alright, welcome back. We have here a Chab clone by TheOne, trainer version in grey. And you can find this on AliExpress for, I think it comes in just under $100, depending on which store you're from. You know, once you've paid tax and shipping, it's just over $100, but it's around that price point. Titanium, I think it's grade 5 titanium. I don't know what TheOne uses. I'm pretty sure they have grade 5 titanium on their Orca clone. So I assume the Chab is probably also grade 5. I can't imagine they'd use different grades for different ballast songs on the same sort of factory. They probably just use the same materials. D2 blade steel. It's quite heavy. It comes in, I think, I've got the specs here. It comes in at 140 grams. I don't know what that is in ounces, but over 4 for sure. I'll put it in the description, how much it weighs if you want. But this has been very impressive. It's a absolute tank of a ballast song. Weighs a lot, feels really solid, sounds amazing. Full titanium makes for such a good sound, and with TheOne hardware, this stuff has surprised me in the past with things like TheOne Alien, with TheOne Falcon. You can crank these down pretty hard and they won't strip, the screws will stay in perfect condition, you can tune them really easily, they sound amazing. Just listen to this. Definitely sounds very good. Probably one of the best sounding ballast songs I've flipped in a while. Even more so than my Kraken. And that I really like the sound of. It's got a ring to it, which kind of, I don't know whether it gets annoying, but it's definitely there. And if you have a headache, it can get on your nerves after a little while of flipping. But it's not a bad ring. It's definitely satisfying. It's not as nice as the Squid Trainer ring. I really like how this sounds. I'll show you this. See, this has got that kind of, it's not muted, but it's a lot quieter and it just rings out a little shorter. Whereas the titanium's quite harsh and it goes on for a little while, the titanium of the Chab clone. Whereas I think this is just 6061 aluminium. Also, it's the blade on this one, the steel blade, that makes the noise. And I think for the Chab, it's these bits of the handles. Usually you can mute blades by putting tape around it. I don't know whether you'd want to tape your handles up, if I'm honest, because you need that gap for the blade to go in. So it's not really something you can fix, I don't think. But yeah, it's a heavy ballast song for sure. Sounds great though. Flipping wise, the weight does get a bit annoying. You gotta get used to it for sure. I mean, if you're used to flipping things like Krakens, and you know, what I usually flip is my Kraken and all of the clones that I have of it. I've got loads of Kraken clones. So I'm used to kind of that about dead on 4 ounces. I think the Kraken clones come in at 110 grams maybe, around there. So being 140 grams, this thing is pretty hefty, at least for me to flip. So I've noticed that for some things, especially choker fans like that, I struggle to get the grip on the ends of my fingers, because this thing doesn't have a lot of grip and it's quite blocky, as you can see. So, but especially when you're choker fanning, you find that it kind of likes to spin out of your fingers sometimes. You just can't hold on as easily. In terms of grip up the top of the handle, I mean, you know, you have all the grip you'll ever need with these, what do you call them? They chamfers into the handle. provide a lot of grip. And especially just the titanium in general. Titanium is a very like grippy material. It's not like 6061, which gets really slippery really quickly. I can't really show it on the squid trainer because it's got such good finish on it, but especially the Kraken. Kraken's very slippy balisong. It tends to slip out your hands all the time. See, it's just, you know, it takes some getting used to, but with the titanium you don't have that problem at all. It's just absolutely, you can flip it really quickly. I'm not very good at flipping quickly. I'm more of a slow flipper, as you can definitely tell by my style. But it flips very well. I'd say handlebars for sure. It's not neutral, but it still fans very good, as you can see. Rollovers are great. It aerials very predictably. It's something I really like about this, actually. You can pretty much always catch aerials because it just aerials so goddamn well. Maybe because it's the weight, but it doesn't like... You'll find that when you aerial, everything comes out perfectly. The handles all space out perfectly, and you can easily tell where you are. That was an awful demonstration, but if you can see here, I don't know how easy it is to see, but it comes out really well. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show this off since a few people have asked me about my opinions of the Chab clone, and I haven't really, you know, this is the first opportunity I've had to flip it. I'm still kind of making my opinions. I left this video a few days just so I'd have some flipping experience with it. But yeah, sounds amazing. The TheOne hardware is usually pretty good. If not, it can usually be tuned up. They tend to give oversized bushings instead of undersized. This one's got tap, he says. It doesn't have tap. Yeah, it does. Tiny amount. Give it proper shake. But it's pretty good. As for play, you know, very minimal play. I took the latch off, obviously for better flipping. If you flip with the latch on, then, you know, you're wrong. But yeah, it flips very well. I would definitely recommend it to a lot of people. It is very heavy, so if you do not like heavy balisongs, then I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're, you know, if you flip something like a barfly, or if you flip, even if you just usually use a squid trainer, it's heavier than a squid trainer, but it's not, you know, unflippable. If you're used to reps, if you have a rep, I'd say it's heavier than a rep, but it's very similar in flipping style. Sorry, I haven't been flipping this rep at all recently. That was bite handle. Oh god, this thing is... I need to get used to the rep again. I have not been flipping it at all recently. I kind of wanted to sell it, but I also really want to modify it. So it's like, I need to decide whether I want to actually go ahead and spend the money to modify this thing, or whether I should just sell it, get the money, spend it on other things. I have a Prisma on the way. Finally got one. The Halloween drop. I got in there hella quick, like one of the first ones. So I have myself a Halloween Prisma. Some people call it the P-Hub Prisma, black and orange. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, this is meant to be a Chab review, and I'm talking about everything else. But yeah, they were my opinions on the Chab. Absolute fucking tank, flips very well. Slight handle bias, very heavy, but it makes up for it by being able to carry its momentum really well. As you can see, it fans great, which is surprising. The only thing that I've really kind of had difficulties with is like finger work, especially with these 3 fingers at the end. I'm not very good at that anyway, but just the extra added weight makes it a lot more difficult. But you can get some real momentum going on this thing because it's so heavy. Would definitely recommend. I know they do it in live blade versions. I think there's an alt and a tanto. I might get the alt blade for this if I end up keeping it. If not, I'm selling it. I was planning on selling it, but I might just keep it because honestly really like it. And if I can get the if I can get the alt blade for it, acid wash, then I think it would be pretty dope to use as like a box opener or something. Although I think if you got your finger caught in here, as that's closing, the weight would just like chop your finger off. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. That's basically all I've said. This was lubricated with hops 9, just saying, for any of you asking about sound. And this squid trainer, none of you have seen before, unless you follow my Instagram and maybe on my Discord as well. But this is just, I'm selling this for someone else. Pretty nice. It's been good to be able to flip a squid trainer again. I fucking love these things. It makes me really want to get my own, but I don't really have the money, especially after buying a Prisma. But yeah, more things to come. Prisma's on the way, the Arm Shark Nautilus is on the way. Arm Shark Kraken will be on the way when that gets released, which is hopefully this month. We'll see. Hopefully before December. But yeah, the Prisma will be here in, I don't know, 15, 20 days maybe, by the time I finally get to my place. I'm sending it back home to where I grew up first, because I don't trust the postal service here. But yeah, this is like 12 minutes now, so I might end it here. See ya.